Like, you're literally establishing your niche by putting out your price out there. And I feel like a lot of business owners that are always saying DM for price, they don't understand that. Hello loves, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're returning regular degular, hi my lovely, welcome back. It's so good to have you. You already know I love you, I love having you, I love that you love me, and I love everything that is lovely about our bond, you get it. If you're new here, hello and welcome. It's so good to have you here. Please do take a moment to consider joining the lovely gang. That's what we're going to be called, okay? You guys are my lovelies and I'm your lovely, so together we are the lovely gang, okay? So yeah, today we are doing a sit down video. Obviously this comes after I've obviously sat down with myself and have done some introspection on how I can create content that gives you guys more value outside of just being like creating content that is entertaining and that you guys would like to consume for leisure. I would also like to create educational content that you guys can consume and can be of value to you guys' life, and this is one of those videos. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this segment of the YouTube channel, because this is definitely something that is going to be here and here to stay, I think, for the foreseeable future. But yeah, so for those of you guys that do not know, I am a self-taught fashion designer. I have an undergrad in statistics and I'm currently doing honors in business administration, and I'm majoring in strategic marketing. So yeah, I did a short course in digital marketing. That's something that I'm super passionate about, and that's why we're doing this video, because I did see a screenshot and a post on Instagram the other day, and that really that catapulted me into obviously making this video. So I'm with my phone because I've noted down what I want to speak about, right? So I'm just gonna read you the post that I saw, and then we'll get into the cracks of this video, okay? If you're not subscribed, while I'm looking for that screenshot, y'all better subscribe, okay? Y'all better subscribe. Did you subscribe? Are you subscribed? Really? Please subscribe, okay? Join the lovely gang. It would be so nice to have you part of the family. And yeah, I mean, just guys, join the family, okay? So I got the screenshot. The screenshot said, why do people in business keep their prices a secret? Like, who are you hiding your prices from? Your competitors, or who? Or do you tell customers different prices? Imagine constantly having to ask the price of each item you want in Pick and Pay. Inconvenient, correct? So yeah, this is basically what sparked this conversation, and based off on that, we're obviously going to get into the cracks of DM for price. Oh guys, sorry, I feel like you guys are not straight. Okay, so we're going to get into the cracks of DM for price. That is what we're talking about. So DM for price, for those of you guys that do not know, for context, is when entrepreneurs or business people put out products and they caption it DM for price instead of putting out a price. So it means you'd have to direct message them to get a price for that item. Why would anybody want to do that, right? So I know of a certain lady in my context that does that religiously. Like, she does it all the time. So I remember the one time I asked her, like, why do you do that? It's such an inconvenience. And her response was like, no, I just want to interact with my clients, and I feel like if somebody really wants something, then they will DM, and the ones that do not want it will not DM. But I was like, okay, obviously, because I genuinely did not feel like it's my place to educate them. Also because maybe it's a system that works for them, so I wouldn't know really. So I think number one, the reason why people would say DM for price is when people are scared of saying their prices with their chests. Like, people don't think they're worth the money that they're asking for, and that's why they would say DM for price. That's number one. Number two, I think this is when those people sell products, or they give you a price based off of who you are. They read you, which is obviously very unethical. So basically what they would do is they would look through your social media, your profile picture, what is in your bio, to analyze what type of price to give you. They would see the type of page you contacted them with. If it's a business page, obviously they would think you have money, that type of thing, and then they would give you a price based off on that, right? Number three, the reason why I think people are not, they don't want to put out their prices, I think it's because they feel like their competitors are looking or watching them. I feel like they're hiding the prices from their competitors, and that is a third reason why I feel like those types of businesses do not put out their prices for products that they're selling, and they would rather you DM them. Number four, like I said, maybe they want to start a conversation, or they feel like the people that would DM them are the people that are genuinely interested in the product. And because it's a lot of admin to DM somebody, if you're genuinely not having that energy, you wouldn't do it, because it's going to take so much from you. So now, to play devil's advocate, guys, imagine having to go in Pick and Pay, and from the first shelf to the last shelf, you have to ask for the price of everything. So we are talking about finish made products. We're not talking about custom products, okay? I will talk about custom products on how to put your prices out there, right? So I feel like it's so upset, it's time consuming, it's ridiculous. You're wasting your time, you're wasting the client's time, you're wasting everybody's time, okay? I feel the right approach would be to just put your price out, right? Just put your price out there. What's the worst that can really happen? I would genuinely, unless the system works for you, but I feel like a lot of people that I've met feel like that's an inconvenience. And I mean, when you're in business, it's normal for you to be afraid and feel like you're not worth a certain value. I mean, in my business for the longest of time, I used to undercharge and actually like make a very, very thin margin, if even any margin, because when I used to do my costing in terms of like how much I would need to for everything, I never used to cost things like my rent and the utilities and those small things, machine servicing, all those small things. I never used to factor them in. I used to cost per item how much profit I would want to make per item, not how much profit I need to make to break even. You understand? So that can be a very overwhelming position to be in, where you actually really want to post your prices, but you're afraid that you're not worth that money, okay? So number one, I think one of the things that an acquaintance of mine told me is that money is infinite, guys. Money is infinite. Money will never run out. There's so much money, and there will be a customer for anything and every price that is ever said, okay? Elon Musk invented a Tesla, and people were like, oh, they're so expensive, but people are buying them, okay? I can't think, like, people would say, oh my god, Louis Vuitton is so expensive, but so many people are buying Louis Vuitton, okay? So the whole thing of like, I feel like if you have a scarcity mindset, you're likely to be afraid to post your prices, because you feel like, number one, you're not worth the money. Number two, you feel like people do not have the money to pay you whatever money you have asked for. And if there's anything I've learned in my business, it's contrary to that. People do have the money, people will pay you that money, and for as long as you're delivering the product, the service, they will pay the money, okay? So how to get over the fear or of posting your prices on social media is, number one, just price your worth. I feel like one thing I've learned in business is like, the more you grow, the more your prices change. Okay, the price I used to charge 4 years ago is not the price I will charge now. Okay, but the work quality of 4 years ago is also not the work quality of now. You understand? So just price your value. If you price your value, people will buy. Okay. Number two, if prices are on display, you're going to save time. Do you know how much time it takes up to be responding to clients? I personally know how much time it is, because I work in a business where it's custom. I create custom products, so each code have to be custom made to that client's needs. So it means every time a client wants something, I'd have to sit and do a costing, which is basically analyzing or adding together all the costs that it would take to create this one product, and then based off that derive a price for them, which takes up so much time, honestly, because you have to calculate markup, you have to calculate for fabrics and all the small things inside there. And then, so imagine if you have, for example, 10 clients looking for codes, and you have to do that. It's literally going to take out maybe 2 or 3 good hours out of your day. And this is because, honestly, firstly you do the costing process, and then you have to create the quotations, because I create my quotations online. You have to create those quotations online, so it does take up a chunk of your time, believe it or not, because every quotation you'd have to change the client ID number, you have to change the reference, you have to change the name, you have to change the item. So it does take up so much time. Now imagine for somebody that creates a standard product, a finished good, why don't you just put out the time, the price, and then you save yourself all that drama of having to go back and forth with clients, which is wasting your time and also wasting their time. So the second thing that will help you, obviously, is just focus on the money. Focus on those clients with the money. Okay, don't bother yourself with those clients that think that you're expensive, because there will always be people that feel like, oh my god, this person is so expensive, oh my god. Like, there are people that genuinely feel like certain things are expensive, and that's okay. Okay, that's okay. And that's why there are different classes in life. That's why, for example, there is Pep, and then there's Edgar, and then there is I don't know what other shop, and then there's Louis Vuitton. Okay, because it's a market to create for different people. So if you're somebody that caters for people that at the Pep level, then that's fantastic, they would buy. Okay, if you're somebody that just focus on the people that have your money, okay, the money that you want, those are the people that you focus on. Okay, and that's where you're also going to thrive, and your business is going to grow. Okay, and then I know also, like, one of the things that people like to do is educate clients, and this is something I struggled with for a long time. I'd always want to have to explain to a client as to say that, listen, the reason why this dress, for example, is going to cost 1,000 is because I'm using this material that is costing this much, and my markup is this much, and is this much. I think number one, that's a red flag. Okay, unless I mean, some customers genuinely want to know, which is okay, but a customer that already hassling you from the beginning, it's just a red flag. Number two, I feel like most of the time when customers do that, they already feel like you're expensive in a way, or you're not worth that specific price. That's why they ask you to break it down for them. And that's like, imagine a customer going to Pick and Pay asking, why is sugar $50? Okay, they would never, because they find sugar of value, they'll buy the sugar. So the same analogy with people that find your product of value, they will buy it without you having to go through the loops of explaining yourself. It's not your job to educate them. People that genuinely want your products, they will buy it, guys. And once you put out your product, that this candle, for example, is 500, People that have the 500 and above will contact you, trust me. Or people that have 450, for example, if they want to negotiate, or maybe they're buying in bulk and they want to negotiate. But there is a standard, okay? This is standard. There is a reason why, guys. People, no one would just stand up here and go to Louis Vuitton. Okay, I would not stand up and go to Louis Vuitton. I know I can't afford Louis Vuitton. I know I can't afford Louis Vuitton, okay? But I can stand up here and go to Pep because that I can afford. I can stand up and go to Master Price because I can afford it. So that's the same analogy with putting out your price, because people that come to you are the people that can afford your prices, okay? It's sort of like having a filter and you're filtering out exactly your niche. Like you're literally establishing your niche by putting out your price out there. And I feel like a lot of business owners that are always saying DM for price, they don't understand that. Instead of dealing with so many back and forth, just filter out the ones that contact you are most likely to buy, okay? And that is something that has changed my life so much. I used to be so scared of putting out my prices, but now I put my price out. The ones that want to buy will buy. The ones that want to buy and cannot afford will work hard to be able to afford. And the ones that don't want to buy, it's okay. There are so many of us that they can support, okay? And the other thing that I wanted to say, remember, those who have money to spend don't have time to spend, guys. This is a real one, okay? If somebody has, people buy convenience, okay? So number one, already the moment you're saying DM for price, that is such an inconvenience, okay? And people with money buy convenience, okay? They pay for convenience, literally, and they don't have time to waste. So the moment they have to waste time to go back and forth with you to ask for a price, you've already lost a client, genuinely, okay? So put your prices out there so people, when they're browsing through your page, your website, they know, you know, they get the figures. Moving softly, now we're going to talk about people that are in businesses where they create custom products, right? So for example, if you're somebody that creates furniture, and it's, you know, obviously furniture, for example, it will depend on the type of product that you're using. It will depend on the type of product that you're using, on the material, all those things. Obviously those are the factors that will determine the price, right? So what you would have to do is then tell the people the standard price is it starts from X, right? For example, I would say standard 2 pieces start from 2.2 or 2.5, 2.6, right? So you know that's the cutoff point, and it just goes up from there. It's not gonna go down, right? So a lot of business people actually that do custom products struggle with this. But the moment you find a way of saying that no, a product starts from, you give a cutoff point, then people know what to expect, and also that makes it easier for you to navigate. But obviously this is after you figure out how much you need to charge to break even, right? So this is something that a friend of mine, an accountant, helped me through, and he told me how to do a proper costing, and that's something that has saved my life. It has helped me so much, you know. So number one, you can't just be giving out prices, okay? You can't just be giving out prices. You need to do a proper costing to say, okay, my rent is this much, my utilities, water, electricity is this much, my employees is this much, right? My bank charges are this much, the miscellaneous, the small things, the threads, the, for example, the threads, the needles, whatever I'm going to use, would be maybe a certain percentage of that price. Maybe you're going to incorporate, and then on top of that, your markup, your profit, how much would that be? So once you have figured that out, then you can then know and start you can figure out a way on how to cost and give prices. And that's something that's definitely going to help you once you've done that, because you're going to ask what you are worth, okay? You're going to charge what you're worth, okay? And this, we're not talking about value addition and brand value and all those things. We're just talking about you and your markup and what you basically are worth, right? moving swiftly. So once you have done that, then you can recognize obviously your final price and what you are going to charge, right? I think also one of the things that make it very hard is, you know, when you don't have work, for example, you don't have clients, you don't have orders, and now you have somebody that is interested genuinely, so now you're thinking to give them a discount or not, what, or if somebody feels like you're too expensive, the best way to respond to a client that feels like you're very expensive or anything is just tell them that I'd be so happy to recommend you to somebody else. And in that sentence, you've basically said that number one, I'm well aware of my value. Number two, I won't budge on the price. Number three, you are willing to find them the same product elsewhere if it exists. No hard feelings, right? And either way, it's a win-win, because you did not compromise on your value and they get to find somebody else who fits their budget. And in conclusion, it might be very tempting to lower or hide your prices just to get business, especially when you don't have work. Okay, you don't have orders, you don't have customers, but in the long run, you are hurting yourself and your business by doing that. And you might ask me, how is that? Now, so if you hide your prices, you won't get the right customers, obviously, and this is something that I've spoken and gone into depth earlier in this video. Okay, and you can't make money if you go out of business, because the more you lower your prices, you're not going to stay in business for long. I feel like, especially if you're in business for the longevity of it, you're not going to go anywhere for as long as you keep giving discounts, lowering your prices, and all these things. And also another thing is, clients take you at face value. Okay, the way a client takes you is the way you present yourself the first time. If you tell them no, I'm going to charge you 500, and then they say, but I only have 350, and you're like, okay, it's fine. What this client does is, when she leaves from there, she says, oh no, you can go to Nangula, you can negotiate with Nangula, and you become that entrepreneur or that business that clients go around telling that you can negotiate with. And I think also one thing I've realized is, especially when you're creating custom products or just goods like furniture, I don't know, hardware, whatever, the moment you start compromising on price, it automatically means you'd have to compromise on materials or labor. Because one thing I genuinely know is that people their work ethic is equivalent to the money they're getting, and that's on that. And that's why people leave companies, and that's why people quit their jobs, because they feel like they're not being given the value of the work that they're creating for whatever they're putting out. And that's the same for creatives and people that sell products. If you feel like you're not, especially people that have to custom make things, if you feel like you're not getting enough money, you'll never put heart, soul, and effort in it. To wrap up, guys, stop asking people to DM you for prices. Okay, it's not where it's at, guys. It's the ghetto. It does not make sense. Okay, stop it. It's very tiring, it's inconvenient, and it makes your life difficult. Okay, and just to wrap up, I'd like to say a huge shout out to Dr. Mohammed Shehu, whose blog I got most of this information from when I was doing my research. I'll put a link in the bio, and you guys already know, if you guys loved this session, if you enjoyed it, you guys gotta share, you gotta follow, you gotta subscribe, you gotta do all the nice things. Okay, you gotta tag and share the link. You guys get the vibes. Yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this segment, so that I'll be creating more educational content for you guys. And yeah, from me, you're lovely, to you guys, my lovely, I love you guys so much, and I'm so glad I could do this. I've been meaning to do it for so long. Thank you guys. I love you guys so much. To the moon and back, and the moon again. Okay, I'll see you guys on my next upload. Mwah.